I get it. The HiLux is larger than life. Not only is it unattainable, but it's achieved so many incredible things. It's traveled the world. It's driven at the top and the bottom of the earth. It's done things that many of us could only dream of being a part of. And so something like this HiLux from the Expedition 7 series, built by Arctic Trucks, has all of these incredible features, these larger than life things, and that really paints the picture of what we feel we're missing. But I wonder if maybe this is too much for us. The Toyota HiLux. HiLux? 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 Who's to say? The Toyota HiLux. Forbidden fruit. A thing of fables in the USA. The unattainable, nay, the untouchable treasure we shall never consume.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
Side note, I'm not going to go in depth on this. If you want to learn more about the chicken tax, there are some really amazing videos on YouTube about it. So the too long didn't read answer is the first tax on incoming chicken to Europe spurred a major trade war, which at the end of the day is a protectionist approach at leveling the playing field for people in your own country. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. In this case, one of those segments to get taxed in the US was the light truck category. Yep, imported chicken thighs is the reason you can't buy a new HiLux. I can hear everybody now. Yeah, but it's not fair that we haven't gotten the HiLux, that we don't have such a capable, incredible, durable, rugged vehicle. We don't get that in the US. Well, I think in some cases we might get basically the same thing, even down to the same wheelbase and frame. But, what do I know? So here we have the HiLux for the Australian market. This is pulled off of their website. Price is converted to USD. Base price of $32,000 for the base model. But guess what? The base model Tacoma, $33,000. Basically the same price. For everyone saying, well, yeah, that's the new pickup, of course they're going to share the same architecture. What about the old HiLux? The ones that people really want to drive, with the cool bed cleats and 4 doors and things like that. I hear you. But I think we got something pretty similar. In the 1980s, 1990s, we had basically the same truck. Now, yeah, I agree. I think that 4-door HiLux is pretty sexy. But it's not that different. And, let's jump forward a generation. Once again, the HiLux looks pretty cool. But wait, did we get basically the same truck? Yeah, it didn't take much, but we got it. Now here's where things get interesting. It's very likely that in the US, because of the chicken tax and the limitations on imported vehicles, that many of the vehicles that were sold and prioritized in the United States were full-size pickups. So Toyota did everything that they could to start bringing in full-size pickups to compete with the US market. So at first there was a T100 that was built in Japan, designed there, and really brought over to the US to try to play in that big space. But then, to avoid that chicken tax, the first gen Toyota Tundra came about and really has competed very well with the likes of Ford and Chevy and Dodge. Now, I don't want to take away from what the HiLux is. I get it. It's folklore. It's larger than life. You look at some of the stories in which it's grown to that level. Top Gear tried to destroy one. That Diesel guy, what's his name? He destroyed one. We know that they run and run and run. They're incredible vehicles. And so I don't want to take anything away from that, but I also want to highlight that we got some pretty incredible vehicles along the way as a result of the chicken tax. And dare I say, you might be more happy day to day with one of these types of vehicles. Maybe it's not that they won't let us have the HiLux. Maybe it's that we haven't proven that we're responsible enough to use it how it's really meant to be used. What you always hear everyone talking about is how it's not fair that we don't get the HiLux, how we don't get the HiLux Champ, how we need to write a petition to get Toyota to send it over to the US for $15,000. And all of these other things, you know, really treating it like we're getting the short end of the stick. Now, don't get me wrong. There are so many Toyotas that haven't come to the US that I would love to be able to drive or to own. But at the end of the day, we got some pretty cool vehicles specially made for our market. The T100 and the first gen Tundra didn't go out to the rest of the world. They're special vehicles just for the US market. And I know things that we have that are familiar, they don't seem as exotic or as fun or as interesting. But to the rest of the world who isn't getting these vehicles,
we maybe are the reason why we don't have the HiLux or any number of incredible vehicles, but maybe there's something we're missing there. Maybe we've been getting all the good stuff and the rest of the world has been left out in the cold. Now, I don't want to get too preachy, as it's not Sunday, but I do feel like many of the vehicles we aren't getting is a result of economic factors. And the biggest economic factor is the consumer's buying habits. Sadly, for the most of us, we aren't driving across the Serengeti. We're not crossing Antarctica, and we're absolutely not fighting wars with anti-tank missiles and anti-aircraft missiles strapped to the back of our bed. Simply put, Toyotas in the US have a different purpose. There's nothing wrong with having a desire to drive that nostalgia, that legend, that feeling that comes with the HiLux. But the better option would be to take the vehicles we have and build them into the lifestyle we want them to be. As much as I would like to drive a HiLux, this 2006 Tundra might be as close as I ever get. And I'm okay with that. It sure does what I need it to do.
Thanks everybody for making it this far into the video. Sorry if the sound was a little bit off or weird or anything like that. I'm still kind of working through the editing and the sound and which mics and stuff, but you know, I think this will probably be a two-part, or you know, if enough people like it, we've got some projects and some other maybe road trips and stuff that we'd like to be able to cover, and maybe even go in search of the rare American dingo. But you know, this is by no means encouraging everyone to go out and buy a T100 or a Tundra. There's tons of amazing vehicles. Most importantly, the vehicle you already own, maintain it, put good tires on it, go out and have some fun. You know, there's nothing wrong with a Toyota Tacoma. They're incredible. They're capable. It doesn't have to be a truck, but if you do need a truck, you know, consider the Nissan Frontier or the Ford Maverick if you need something new. If you don't mind a you know, older, there's so many amazing vehicles out there that have so much potential. But most important is, you know what? Just find what you like and then go and buy it. And hey, if you've got a HiLux that you'd be willing to let me drive, oh man, please hit me up. But at the end of the day, you know, as long as everyone's getting out and enjoying nature, camping, traveling, driving, heck, even if you're just driving to the mall, as long as you love your vehicle, that's all that matters. I want to give a big shout out to the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum for letting me film on site. That was super great to be able to go and stand next to the their build and you know, some of the vehicles from the Expedition 7. Super great to have them as part of the community and to have such a wealth of knowledge. So if you haven't been to the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum, I would really encourage you, make a trip out of it. It's in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you guys, get out there.